Hey everyone, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I'm asking the question, was Michigan voter data, the state of Michigan, their data actually hacked by the Russians? And this is really interesting, and here's what's going on. Now this is coming from Cyberscoop, but there are now others reporting on this. Michigan's Secretary of State this past Tuesday refuted a news report asserting that their state's voter registration database had been compromised. Now, this is an example of how election officials are trying to combat misinformation literally weeks before a presidential election. We're only a couple of months away at this point. Now, this statement comes in response to a report by Russian media outlet Kommersant claiming that recently stolen data on American voters was available on a hacking forum, essentially as a new thing. It turns out that this data was already publicly available, and it appears to have been repackaged it by whoever essentially was advertising this. Now, according to Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson's office, and I quote, "Our system has not been hacked. We encourage all Michigan voters to be wary of any attempts to hack their minds. However, by questioning the sources of information and advertisements they encounter and seeking out trusted sources, including their local election clerk and our office. Public voter data in Michigan and elsewhere is accessible to anyone through a FOIA or Freedom of Information Act request." Now, in a statement, the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency and the FBI said, and I quote, "They have not seen any cyber attacks this year on voter registration databases or on any systems involving voting. Information on U.S. elections is going to grab headlines, particularly if it is cast as foreign interference. Early unverified claims should be viewed with a healthy dose of skepticism." Now, the circulation of this Kommersant report quickly became an exercise in how media outlets essentially, they play a very important role in election security, essentially amplified this. As an example, this report gained traction on Twitter with one reporter from GQ magazine with a very large following retweeting this, and obviously it exploded from there. Now, the Kommersant report is one of multiple examples of misinformation that secretaries of states have had to deal with in recent weeks. There has been no shortage of foreign government-linked social media accounts basically spewing this information designed for disinformation and to divide voters. Now, I wanted to actually do this particular news story on the heels of yesterday's confirmation of Russian disinformation campaigns on Facebook and Twitter that I talked about in my video and podcast yesterday, because I believe it's important to do our due diligence in reporting basically the facts here. We need to separate fact from fiction. Not every story that you're going to hear may actually be real, and this really underscores that point. As we come in with information, it is very easy to say, "Oh my God, it looks like an official news source, and it looks like we've been hacked by whoever, and I'm going to go ahead and amplify this." This is how we spread fake news. And Kommersant, I think that's how you pronounce it, being a Russian a news source from Moscow, basically is that. If they are saying something that, let's say, is in the Russian government's intelligence's best interest, they may be putting out fake news, if you will, or false information that is designed to drive fear, in this case in the state of Michigan, but it could happen across the United States. We have to step back, take a breath, take a few days and verify the sources. You will note that this really started exploding on Tuesday, and I am here reporting it on Thursday because I wanted to see, and I caught this on Tuesday, how news sources would start to react as they investigated this and as official statements and investigations came out from federal agencies or state government agencies, and here we are. This is demonstrably false, according to everybody that's reporting on this. And there's no reason for them to essentially lie in this sense, not necessarily to keep calm, but because as we are looking at this election cycle, it's important to identify real information in the same way that the FBI basically told Facebook that we caught the Internet Research Agency, that's the Russian cutout troll farm that sowed disinformation in 2016. Go see yesterday's video or podcast from me on this. This is what we're talking about. And so let's take a step back. Let's verify our information, and then let's get the story straight. And this is a perfect example of that. So that GQ writer really needs to step back and look at his or hers reporting details here, because they grabbed immediately that report from a Russian outlet and exploded it across the internet. So here we are. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But as we come into the next election, it's very important we step back and we start just really making sure that we are verifying everything that we do. And so that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, everyone.